Breaking news! Coming in with the latest updates and analysis ahead of our Sunday matchup. So come with me as I tell you all the details about our Atlanta Falcons. Before we dive into today's news, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any updates about our team. Let's keep the Falcons community strong and growing. Now, on to the big news. In a surprising move, the Atlanta Falcons have released former Alabama All-American linebacker Rashaan Evans. This decision comes as part of a roster shakeup ahead of Sunday's game against the Carolina Panthers. Here's what happened. The Falcons have been dealing with a few injuries, especially at linebacker. Nate Landman, who started in Week 1 but was on injured reserve with quad and calf issues, is back. With Troy Anderson out with a knee injury, Landman is returning, and the Falcons had to make room on the roster. To make that happen, Atlanta released cornerback Kevin King, but later re-signed him to the practice squad and elevated him for Sunday's game. Unfortunately for Evans, that meant he was the odd man out, as they had to release him to make room for King on the practice squad. Evans has had a roller coaster ride since his days with the Falcons. After spending 4 seasons with the Tennessee Titans, he joined Atlanta in 2022 and had an impressive year, racking up 159 tackles. But after becoming a free agent in 2023, he bounced between the practice squads of the Eagles and Cowboys. He even played in 9 games for Dallas last year. Now, after a brief return to the Falcons, it appears Evans will be looking for a new opportunity. It's hard to see a player like Evans, who was a force on the field in 2022, being released, but that's the business side of football. With Landman back and the team looking to solidify their roster, the Falcons are making moves that they believe will give them the best chance at success, especially with a crucial divisional game coming up. So, what do you guys think? Was this the right decision for the Falcons? Could Evans have had more to offer this season, or was this just the natural next step for the team? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, the Falcons have made some serious roster moves ahead of Sunday's matchup against the Carolina Panthers. We have some big news, especially for those who have been eagerly waiting for our defense to get stronger. Linebacker Nate Landman, who has been out the last 4 weeks with quadriceps and calf injuries, is back. He played 37 solid snaps in Week 1 and now, after weeks of recovery, is ready to return to the field. But Landman isn't the only one making headlines. Atlanta also elevated 2 players from the practice squad for Sunday's game, cornerback Kevin King and center Matt Hennessy. King, who has been with us for all 5 games this season, was released on Friday, but the Falcons quickly re-signed him to the practice squad on Saturday. Now, he's ready to take the field again. Interesting note, King has 1 more practice squad promotion remaining, which means we could see him back on the main roster soon. As for Hennessy, this will be his 3rd consecutive game since being called up from the practice squad, but it's important to note that he's now exhausted his league-mandated number of call-ups. So what's next for him after Sunday? We'll have to wait and see if the Falcons decide to make his move to the active roster permanent. Now, of course, with all of these additions, there's been one tough subtraction: linebacker Rashaan Evans. He was the team's leading tackler in 2022, but with Landman back and ready to go, the Falcons felt like they no longer needed Evans for linebacker depth. It's always tough to see a player like Evans, who has contributed so much to the defense, leave, but the team is focusing on the roster they feel will best prepare them for the grind ahead. For Sunday's game, Atlanta will have 3 healthy linebackers: Nate Landman, Caden Ellis, and rookie J.D. Bertrand. Unfortunately, Troy Anderson will miss the game with a knee injury, so these guys will need to step up and make plays happen. So what do you think, Falcons Nation? Do you think bringing back Landman is the right decision for our defense, or will losing Evans come back to bite us later? Okay, let's talk about the big opportunity our Falcons have this Sunday. We're headed to Carolina to take on the Panthers, and honestly, this game could be the nail in the coffin of their season. Now, I know it might sound a little dramatic to say that we could end the team's season in Week 6, but that's exactly where we're at right now. Carolina is 1-4, and they don't look anywhere near competitive. A win for us, and we could pretty much close the door on their playoff hopes and keep our focus on battling Tampa Bay for the NFC South crown. The Panthers have struggled, and with a loss to us this Sunday, it's hard to see how they could even think about turning their season around. After they play us, they have games against the Commanders, Broncos, and then the Saints. I mean, let's be realistic. Do we see them being competitive in those games? Not really. If we beat them, they'll probably start looking ahead to the offseason and the draft. Now, let's focus on what this means for the Falcons. We're 3-2, and this game gives us a chance to go 3-0 in the division. That's great. It would give us a huge advantage in terms of tiebreakers, and if we can stay focused, it will put us as the best team in the NFC South, with Tampa Bay being our only real competition. This is a young roster, and while some may worry that this is a trap game, I don't see that. These guys are hungry and ready to end our postseason drought. But let's make some bold predictions for Sunday's game, because I have a good feeling about how this is going to play out. Remember Week 1? Jesse Bates had a field day, intercepting Bryce Young twice. Now, we won't be facing Young this time, but the Panthers' offense has struggled with turnovers, and Bates has been a true playmaker all season. Whether it's forcing fumbles or catching picks, Bates always seems to be in the right place at the right time. I'm predicting he'll have 2 more interceptions this week, which will help us put this game out of reach early. Now, I know what you're thinking. We only have 1 rushing touchdown so far this season. That's true, but the Panthers' defense has been terrible at stopping the run, especially when it comes to allowing rushing touchdowns. They've given up 9 so far this season, and our guy Zach Robinson has got to be licking his chops thinking about it. Expect to see a heavy dose of Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier running the ball. If we can keep the run going, control the game, and finish drives with touchdowns, we'll be in a good position. Let's be honest, it's been a while since we've seen the Falcons beat a team. Our last convincing win was in December against the Colts, and it's about time we beat a team early and put an end to it. Sure, the Panthers have improved a bit with Andy Dalton under center, but let's face it, they're still limited in every way. We have no excuses for not dominating this game. If we can execute on the first 2 bold predictions, running the ball effectively and forcing turnovers, this should be a 3-point win. Enough of the nail-biting. It's time for a big win, and the Panthers are the perfect team to do it. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Can we go to Carolina and not only secure a win, but make a statement while we're at it? Will this be the game where we finally beat a team and solidify ourselves as the top contender in the NFC South? Leave your thoughts in the comments and let me know how you see this game playing out. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more updates as we get closer to game day, and as always, get your asses up. Let's show the Panthers who's boss and keep pushing toward the division title. Go Falcons!